Hi, good evening. Thank you for coming out to New Canaan Library tonight. My name's Kayla. I'm the Digital Services Librarian here, and I'm excited to welcome Glen Tobias, who's going to be lecturing tonight. To tell you a little bit about Glen's professional background, he is a sports performance nutritionist who's been working with NFL, MLB, and professional mixed martial arts athletes for the past 7 years. He's a registered dietitian nutritionist with a master's degree in clinical nutrition from NYU. He's been providing nutritional counseling for over 25 years in Connecticut, New York, and Jersey. He is currently the team nutritionist for the Boston Red Sox, and he was previously the team nutritionist for the New York Jets, Atlantic Sports Health, and Manhattan Sports Medicine. Please join me in welcoming Glen.
Let's leave on a high note because that was a good round. Thank you, guys. I want to go over a couple of different things with you guys tonight. There's a lot of misconceptions. A lot of people will say a lot of different things. Can everybody hear me? Because I'd like to be able to walk through. Is this loud enough, or do you want me on a microphone? On microphone? Is this better? Okay. I usually like to walk around, but okay. Okay, we can set that. See, they want the walking. Got to give the people what they want.
You can have both.
So my point is, first of all, my company is E3 Weight Management Systems. E3, eating, exercise, and education. There is no gimmick. You have to eat, you have to exercise, and you have to have the right education. The internet has done more damage to my industry than it has helped, because you could Google something, and everyone Googles it, and everyone says, well, I read that if you, who wrote what you just read? That's the biggest issue, because a lot of times, crazy people know how to write. All right. Let's see if this is. How's this? Better? Good? Am I good? Oh, nice. Now I'm mobile. I hate to be stuck behind a thing. So, eating, exercise, and education. The thing I find most discouraging is that, first of all, everybody eats, so everybody has an opinion, and everybody feels that it's okay to swerve into my lane and tell you, you can't eat. How many people remember in the 80s you couldn't eat fat? You couldn't eat fat, right? You all have to remember that. Okay, thank you. And now you can't eat carbs, and you can't eat gluten. How many people, you guys don't, I was going to, who doesn't eat gluten? Are you celiac? Start eating gluten again. So that's my point. There's just too much out there, and everybody wants to sell you a product. So when you had celiac years ago, you had really no choices. Now, at least if you're celiac, you're set. So that was a good thing for certain people. I want to go over some different things about sleep, because I think that's where it all starts. It has to have a good night's sleep. If you're not sleeping well, your hormones are going to get thrown all off. If you're not sleeping enough, some people are like, I eat sleep. How many people sleep at least 4 hours? 5 hours. Keep the hands up. 6. This is where it's going to start to fall off. 7 hours every night. Yep. 8. Oh, fantastic. All right, you guys are doing great. Most people don't sleep that much. So, that being said, the sleep is going to be critical. If you don't sleep enough, the body considers that a stress. If you're under stress, the body releases cortisol, which is a catabolic to muscle. It breaks down muscle. So that means you're not going to have as much muscle. Muscle burns fat. Okay? So if you don't have as much muscle, you're going to get fatter. That's not good. We don't want to be. So we want to sleep enough so we're not under stress. If you don't sleep enough, there's a hormone called leptin that makes you feel full. So that hormone that makes you feel full is now suppressed if you don't sleep enough. That's a problem. Now you'll eat more. There's another hormone that makes you hungry. It's called ghrelin. Guess what happens to ghrelin if you don't sleep enough? It goes up. So what I'm trying to tell you, this hormonal trifecta that happens, that you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. Anybody know what sleep hygiene means? Has anybody ever heard the term sleep hygiene? I have a few. That's good. That's critical. You have to you have to go to sleep at the same time every night. That is gold. If you can do that and wake up at the same time. Most people, the weekends are much later. That throws you off. That's getting jet lagged every week. So if you can keep a schedule, a better schedule, you're fantastic. You're in a better spot. So for the kids who are up till 4 o'clock in the morning playing Fortnite on Friday and Saturday night, that is a train wreck. So, and they're also probably drinking Red Bulls, which is another whole lecture. The sleep routine is critical. Avoid caffeine. How many people drink coffee every day? How many people? Hold hands up. Ready? 2 cups a day at least. 3 cups. All right, not bad, not bad. I would want you to decrease your caffeine, even if you're doing it in the morning, because your caffeine, coffee is like having a credit card, and you're charging this, and you got to pay it back later. That's fake energy. So you're going to get energy to wake up. You got to pay it back later. It's not good for you. Yes, sir.
What about decaf?
I'll take it. There's a little bit of caffeine, but I'll take it. Yeah, not a problem.
Bad for you in the
No,
evening?
I'll take the decaf. It's also just really rough on your stomach, and it's very acidic, and I really try to lean more to an anti-inflammatory diet. So for people who are drinking, like, say, I'll get into hydration later, but like seltzer, I'm anti-bubble. I'm an anti-bubble guy. Everyone thinks it's healthy, and it's really not. We'll get into that. Yes. I'm sorry? There are some studies about the antioxidants. Yeah. Yes. Everyone's affected by caffeine, but no, they're not sensitive. All right, then. It is, I mean, there's a lot to coffee. I'm anti-coffee. I would rather my athletes not take it. I'd rather them sleep better, more soundly. There are antioxidants, though, in there that can be beneficial. So, comfortable environment. A lot of people say you shouldn't have a TV in there. You should not have a TV. I like to watch TV. It has to be cool. That's critical. You really want a cold room to sleep deeper. That's important. Electronics, you should pull the blue light out. How many people have an iPhone? Yeah, you should. Anybody have night shifts already set? Excellent. You should have that set for sure. That pulls the blue light out. Yes?
Why does a cold room make you sleep better?
Studies show. It's just better. It is more conducive to sleep. If you're sweaty and hot, you will wake up and it'll rouse you more.
Is there a temperature that you would recommend?
60 to 65 is usually the temperature that they recommend. What? Why? Because they make it too hot in your house. But the electronics, you should pull the electronics out at least a half an hour before bed. It's too stimulating in terms of like video games and things like that. Blue light, fluids. Don't drink an hour before bed. Don't drink an hour before bed. You're gonna just, there's no reason to wake up more times during the night to go to the restroom. So try to stop at least an hour before you go to bed. And the last thing you should do before you go to sleep is go to the restroom. Don't watch TV and then just shut the TV and go to bed. Go to the restroom, because I really want you to start on an empty bladder so I can get as much quality sleep as I can. Exercise is a good thing for during the day, of course. I don't care when you do it, morning or evening, but you have to fatigue the body so you can then sleep better. And the last one is naps. How many people nap? Nice. Keep them to about 45 minutes or so. I wouldn't go too much longer, because then you're going to push your bedtime back. And the more sleep you get before midnight, the better it is. So you should go to bed at night. If 12 midnight is now a.m., you should not go to bed in the morning. So here's a good chart. Give you guys an idea of what is recommended. And that's National Sleep Foundation. So most people in this room, I think, are going to be somewhere around 7 to 9. maybe 7 to 8s. Ideally, yes.
What are the numbers above and below? Like you say, for instance, you say 7 to 9, there's a 10 above it.
The ages.
No, it says 7 to 9. We're at the adult. We're at the adult.
Hang on, we're.
Right. And then there's 10 and the 6. What does this represent?
I can't. The recommended is the dark blue, and then it said maybe appropriate is the light blue, if that's what. And all the yellow is not recommended. So I just wanted to have a little chart for you guys. Questions, comments, concerns, violent disagreements? All right. Let's talk a little bit about hydration. Every time I speak to, yes.
Exercise, when should you shut that down?
Oh, the exercise? Everybody's a little different. I mean, I would rather not have you exercise right before bed. But some people, a lot of people will exercise in the morning and say they feel invigorated and ready for the day. Other people, when they exercise, are actually fatigued and feel like they want to lay down. So it depends on you individually. And if, when I work with people, athletes, then I have to see which one are you. I mean, for me, it's better at night because I'm actually physically tired. I just want to lay down after I work out. So if I worked out at 6 a.m., I'm not going to feel great. So I think that's more of an individual thing. Water. When I speak to athletes, when I speak to everybody, general population, I ask them how much water. And a lot of people will say a lot or not enough. Well, is your lot my lot? That's what I always want to know. So these are just some guidelines for the average person. So if you weighed 140 pounds, it's saying 54 ounces of water, or 64 ounces for 160 pounds. This may be hard to see in the back, sorry. But, what's that?
The color of the urine is more important than the amount.
That's going to help us also. The color of the urine in the morning, that's a good indication. You don't want it to be very yellow. And during the day, if it's clear, you're of a good sight. You're in proper hydration. So this is just for regular people. If you actually exercise and do anything, it's going to bump up. It's going to bump up for, you want to prevent dehydration. So you have to see what influences it. What exercise are you doing? Where are you doing it? Is it outside? Is your sport summer? Are you a sweater? You know people that just sweat constantly. They stand up, they're sweating. Sorry. So that's going to be a big deal. Yes?
I heard a doctor tell me once that if you're severely dehydrated, it can take up to 5 days to get intracellularly rehydrated. Meaning, even if you pee clear, you've been chugging water, doesn't mean that you're rehydrated. It could be that you're just intercellularly full with fluids, but you're just not, it's not gone into the cells.
That may be some serious dehydration then. I mean, at that point, you're probably going to be on an IV.
I used to run ultramarathons. So
Ultramarathons.
So you tend to drink less than you should.
Well, I would say, and to that, I would say that most athletes drink less than they should. I really do. So yeah, that's probably you need an IV at that point. I never heard it takes 5 days though.
Well, it could be. I mean, in severe cases, he said so.
Okay. So the problems with dehydration as an athlete are loss of strength. That's not a good thing. Eye-hand coordination and concentration. Those things are all critical to an athlete and for everybody. Also, if you're dehydrated, you're going to, your balance will be off as well. So as we age, eventually we will fall down, and the goal is not to break. So if I can prevent somebody from falling by being properly hydrated. So the thing is this, with hydration, it says, are you thirsty during the day? Thirst is not a cue for you to start drinking. Thirst is a warning signal from the body that tells you that there's something wrong. So if you wait and go, wow, I'm really thirsty, you're already in trouble, especially if you're an athlete, if you're performing, and you're outside, and you're a sweater, you're done. You're done. You're never going to perform to your optimum. So if you guys leave here tonight saying, listen, I heard this nutritionist, and he's a kook, and whatever, I'm not listening to a word he said, but you sleep a little more and you drink a little more water, you're going to feel a little bit better, and you're going to perform a little bit better. So that would be a fantastic take-home for me if you did. But in terms of thirst, don't let it happen. You have to drink by the clock. If you work at a desk, if you're at home, if you have the water there, just keep drinking it. Don't wait for the thirst. Yes?
What if you're thirsty in the middle of the night? I like to keep water there and I drink water.
A lot of times people will sleep with their mouth open and their mouth gets dry. So I would say wet your whistle at that point. Don't drink water. And I would drink more during the day if it is actually dehydration. But a lot of times it's because your mouth may be open and you just wet the whistle. Yes?
So at what point do you know, like at what point would the loss of strength, the lack of concentration, reduced eye-hand coordination come into play if, as you say, you're dehydrated? Like how do you, is there a way to say I'm approaching this point? So
If you're thirsty, you're already there.
you said if you're thirsty, then that's the point at which
It's already having deleterious effects. Yeah, absolutely. So your goal is not to get there, just to drink. Yes?
I've heard that it's not the water you drink the day of competition, it's actually what you've been doing the 2 days.
Absolutely. Critical. Yeah, I think.
Also,
Boom.
soccer players,
Yes.
you're tending not to, there was a whole article that they don't actually drink during competition.
They spit.
They sip a little bit and
Yeah.
spit it out.
That is suboptimal. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's definitely not ideal. But a lot of times you can do that with a mouthwash with sugar, and there's studies that show that helps. But it's definitely not as good as drinking. And a lot of times they can't get off the field for very long. A lot of times. Yes, I'm sorry. Water with electrolytes would be important, I would say, after 1 hour of exercise. So from 0 to 60 minutes, I recommend water. After the 60-minute mark, electrolytes and or sugar would be needed, depending on the event. So this is actually, I had this young man, he was texting me Sunday evening because he was running a 2-mile race, and then he ran a 1-mile race. And personal bests on both, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. But the night before is critical. And with his dinner, you have to drink more. The morning of, pre-event, all these things. And I said, the last thing you should do before you race is go to the restroom. Like, you should be coming out of that porta potty going right to the line. You don't need a full bladder to accelerate and decelerate. Urine is not helpful. So, and I don't need him to want to go. So between events. So he ran the 2-mile, had a personal best, texted me, and then he said, what do I do? So what we did was he drank diluted, 50% diluted Gatorade or Powerade or any kind of sports drink, because back in the day, if you remember when any of those sports drinks first came out, they were pretty dilute. Now they're really sweet because they just want people to drink them, and the more sugar they can put into it, the more we like it. So he did a 50% diluted Gatorade or Powerade. He had, you know those, ever see those chews, like they're sugar, just like a little candy kind of. Gatorade makes them, Cliff Bar makes them, the chews. He had a couple of chews, and then he had a ready-to-drink shake, like Core Power, Rock and Refuel, any of those whey protein fortified vanilla milks or chocolate milks. He was sipping on that also because I wanted to make sure the protein was a little bit of protein coming in. Between the 2-mile, he had a few minutes. He had about 15 minutes or so, not too much time, but then he had to run a 1-mile.
What is your attitude towards sugar, like the boundaries there?
Sugar?
Yeah.
During exercise or workout and post, it's actually great. It's got a bad rap because we eat too much of it in general. But I think during and post, it's critical. You need carbohydrates and sugar post-workout more than you need protein. So the people who are taking in, I just worked out and I have a big protein shake with 4 scoops of whey protein. Like that, no, you don't need all that. It's not important. It's not necessary. I mean, 1 scoop of whey would be great, but maybe some skim milk and a banana would be even better with it, because you need carbohydrates more, because the body needs to replete the glycogen that you just burnt first. And if you're just taking in protein, the body doesn't know, so it starts to break down that protein to be used for energy instead, so all that growth and repair is not going to happen. Was there a question? Yes, sir.
Taking a lot of fluid while you're eating, is that affecting your digestion?
There's a lot of talk about that, but no, if that were the case, you would drink water when you were eating and everyone would be skinny. Body's too good at what it does. It gets the vitamins and minerals. Where that came from originally was actually during the Great Depression, when there wasn't enough food. And they said, don't fill up on the free stuff. When there was food to eat, they wanted you to eat the food. They didn't want you to drink fluids, fill your belly, and say you couldn't eat. That's actually one of the origins of that. Yes?
I have a couple of questions. Is there,
I only answer one. Sorry. Give me the good one. Give me one good. No, I'm kidding.
all right, so is there a, I know, is there a guideline for, the chart before was for normal people, right? Like not exercising or exercising?
Everybody is, and it's very funny. I was trying to put this together, and I had to give a specific, because every person I deal with is different based on age, height, gender, sport, ethnicity. There's so much that goes into it that I can't give a do this, do this, do this. It just doesn't work. That's why each person is really separate.
I was just about to ask, like, if I'm doing a race, like I don't know, a marathon, how much water should I drink?
I can't just give you, I can't just say like 7.62. Like I can't do it. It's going to be a lot to that.
Okay, so how do I go about
Well, we would have to talk and.
Okay. And is there such thing like a problem deriving from drinking too much?
I mean, you can absolutely drink too much. I mean, but if you're looking at like, if you're going over a gallon a day, we should talk. But technically, we'll be talking while you're in the bathroom because you can't get out. Because that's a lot of fluids.
Like during while exercising, like if I'm sipping too much water.
You can. It's going to be really hard. You have to really work at that.
Okay.
You have to really. That's a lot of water. Was there another? Good. Everybody good? All right. So, trying to give an idea of like what is a good thing to eat, kind of the day of your event. Trying to generalizations. So before the game or before you run, I want to keep the fat lower. So you want the fat a little lower because fat keeps food in your belly for a longer amount of time. So if you have, you know the expression, if you eat Chinese food in an hour, you're going to be hungry again? You've all heard this? Because real Chinese food, Chinese food is a lot of vegetables, a little bit of protein, and very, very little fat. So there's not much fat, so all that's going to get out of your stomach quickly. American Chinese food is fried dark meat chicken loaded with oil, and it's not going to be. So don't eat Chinese food now and go, oh, I'm hungry in an hour. No, that's not it at all. So we want to do less fat because I want the food out of your belly. There's no benefit for you as an athlete to be exercising with food in your belly. It's not going to work. So I just wrote down some ideas. So fresh roast turkey on some bread, piece of fruit, and some water. Now people are going, oh my God, bread. Because that's the new thing that's like, oh. I want to say in the Bible, I think they speak to bread as the staff of life. Now it's the scourge of all humanity. Anyway, can't win. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I do think if you eat a loaf of bread a day, you probably have a problem. You should go to Bread's Anonymous. Like pasta, everyone comes in, they tell me, oh my God, every time I eat pasta, I get bloated. Stop eating a pound of pasta. Because to portion out pasta is very difficult, right? Because who doesn't like pasta? So pasta, bread, they're all fine. You need them. You just have to make sure that they're in a proper percent of protein, fat, and carb to make that meal doable for you. So the first hour, like I said earlier, it's just going to be water. Then you go to a 50% diluted sports drink after that. And then depending on if you're a big sweater, we may have to give you additional electrolytes. After the game, after the event, I like whey protein. It's dairy. Dairy. It's the worst thing ever. I think that's from a lot of other food companies because dairy owns a lot of the best foods. Cheese, pizza, ice cream. Pizza has its own entity. I know it's cheese, but the point is that's why everyone's like, you can't eat dairy. If you want to lose weight, stop eating ice cream. So after, like the 1 scoop of whey, banana, maybe some skim milk. Not almond milk. Almonds don't give off milk. Almonds don't have nipples. Almonds are high in fat. Almond milk's got no fat. What is almond milk? They have a great marketing campaign, and everyone thinks it's really healthy. I don't even know what it is. It's white water. I don't understand. I mean, if you're lactose intolerant, I get it. I'd rather you take a Lactaid and have milk. But, okay. If you don't like milk, there's a million different kinds. No, not a fan. It can be a proestrogen, and then by percentage, testosterone levels will be lower. So I don't see a benefit. Because all the soy in this country is genetically modified. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, then we have to work with certain things, and on occasion, I'm okay with it. But most of the time, I would say no. Oat milk? I like oatmeal. Oat milk's okay. Yeah, there's rice milk and there's coconut milk. No, I don't. No, I think they have a good marketing campaign, though. Almond milk's got a good one, and sardines have a terrible marketing campaign. Because everyone's like, sardines, that's gross. I'm like, you never even tried them. What are you talking about? I'm rooting for the sardine because it's the best food nobody's eating. The best food. That and beets. Those are the two things. Big fan. Yes.
Here thinks as if the temperature goes up. What if you do things where it's getting colder, skiing, sailing in March?
What I do with athletes is I weigh you pre and post. So I weigh you before your activity. I weigh you after. So I know how much you sweat out. And every pound you lose is a 16.9 ounce bottle you have to drink.
So if you're skiing, you're sailing, and it's cold, you think...
You're still sweating. Oh. And swimmers too.
Swimmers. I got swimmers, sailors, and skiers.
Yeah, you still got to drink. They think, oh, I'm not sweating that much. Yeah, your body's still hot. You're still working. So you just don't feel it because you're already wet. But yeah. And if you're skiing, you're at altitude. That's another whole reason to drink more because you're dehydrating up there because the air is drier. So that's a whole new set of circumstances.
You're exhausted when you're finished.
Well, it could be fatigue because of dehydration, but it also is because you're probably working hard too.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, so continue to drink water, at least 16 ounces for every pound lost. All right, boom. The myth of weight loss. I love this. Everybody comes to me and says, I want to lose weight. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you are a professional fighter, you want to lose weight. I totally get it. We have a weight that we have to hit. Everybody else, not one person in your life is going to walk up to you and go, so how much do you weigh? Nobody ever will say that. They will walk up to you and say, hey, you look great. So my point is this. Everyone says, hey, I want to lose weight. They come in, I want to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds. No, you don't. You want to decrease body fat. That's the key. Body fat percentage is everything, not weight. But yet we've had a scale our whole life as the barometer for our success or failure. So you wake up tomorrow morning, and you walk over to your scale, and you get on the scale, and you're 2 pounds heavier. Are you happy or are you sad? Sad. Who said happy? I like that because you want to gain weight. Don't say that too loud, they'll kill you. All right, so everyone would be upset. But if that's lean body mass that you worked hard in the gym for, you should be psyched. That should be great. If you ate too salty of a food last night, it's just water. It's nothing, it's just nothing. Yes?
I think at our local YMCA, they will measure your body mass index.
BMI. That's a height-weight thing. That's not how lean you are. That's for studying a population of people. That's not for individuals. It doesn't work well. Because a bodybuilder, day of show, on stage, shredded to the bone and jacked out of his mind, or her mind, BMI is off the chart. They're super obese because their height and their weight, because muscle still weighs a lot. So it doesn't work well, definitely doesn't work well for people who are exercising and who are athletes. Doesn't work. So I don't go by BMI, I go by body fat percentage. So the point is that everyone thinks they want to lose weight. Lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Cut off your legs, that's the only way it's going to happen. Doesn't work, that's not real. If you lose a half a pound of fat a week, that's good. If you lose 1 pound of fat a week, that's excellent. How many people think they have 52 pounds of fat on their body right now in this room? Not that many. That means by the end of the year, you'd all be dead. That's a good time frame for when you lose. You want to lose it over time. You don't want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, because God forbid, what is that then? What are you losing? Just water. You're just dehydrating. That's why it's not called Atkins anymore. Now it's called keto. They keep recycling the same stuff that doesn't work. The minute you start on something like that, yes, you lose weight. You intramuscularly dehydrate because you have no carbohydrates coming in, so you can't store glycogen properly in your muscles, and that weighs because there's water there. So you're eating all this bacon, and you're like, oh, this is fantastic. It's unsustainable. I mean, how long do you think you can go without eating that? And to be honest, most people are not in ketosis. They're not. So it's just a quick weight loss thing that is not going to really work. Yes?
I was asked to ask this question. How do you gain weight, muscle mass?
Yes. Doesn't want to eat crap, so that's a win right there. All right, so how many meals a day is this?
Like 5.
5 meals a day? Then I probably would go to 6. Because most people eat, what, 3 meals a day? Everyone knows breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? Well, that's for prison. That's so you don't die. There's a big gap between optimization and survival. When you're drinking water, you guys are all drinking enough water, you're not dead. Great job. Not enough. But for food, the same thing. I mean, you eat 3 meals a day. We have great names for them: breakfast, lunch, dinner. Great. That'll prevent you from dying. So what you want to eat is breakfast, brunch, lunch, dunch, dinner, and supper. Boom, 6 meals a day. Meals. Don't say snack, because that throws you off into a 100-calorie pack of crap. Right? What's a good snack food? No. How about just a half a turkey sandwich then? I don't care. So the what is not as important to me. It's more important to you. You tell me the what. I'll tell you the how much and the when. Does that make sense? Because the why 6? Because I can keep your blood sugar more consistent, so your energy output will be better. You're going to feel better. I'm going to constantly have that amino acid pool for your muscles going, so your muscles can constantly heal and grow and repair, instead of eat lunch at noon, blood sugar's up. Don't eat dinner till 7, 8 o'clock. Now you're hangry and you hate your significant other when you walk in the house because you're ready to kill everybody and you want to crush food. Now you eat a ton and then you lay on the couch and wish you were dead. That's like 90% of the people. Yes?
So what is your take about intermittent fasting?
Everyone does intermittent fasting, everybody, because you eat dinner and then you go to breakfast.
So how much time would you leave?
Well, they do, the 8-16 is the standard, right? You eat for 8 hours, and then you don't for 16.
I can't do that.
What's that?
I can't do that. I turn into evil human being.
I don't want you to be an evil human being, especially right now. But that's what the common intermittent fasting is. It's 8 on, you eat for 8 hours, you don't eat for 16. If you're unregulated, when I say unregulated, if you're not working with a nutrition professional and you're just leaving it up to you, what do you think is going to happen after 16 hours? I'm starving! When you're hungry, when you're really hungry, what do you want? What do you want to eat? What do you crave? Sugar, carbs, pizza, French fries, fat, absolutely. These are the things that you would crave. My whole point is I don't want you craving anything. If you eat 6 times, and I tell you, here, eat this, you're going to be like, okay, all right, I'll eat it, because I just don't care. But if you wait a long time, so if lunch is noon, dinner's at 8 o'clock, no, it's on. You're going to crush food. Now you're going to crave, and I don't want you craving, and I don't want the blood sugar to take a dive. It's just not good for you because now you're getting hungry. The way the body signals you that there's a problem is hungry, tired, and thirsty. Those are problems. That's the smoke detector in your house going off. It means there's an issue. Yes?
How do you calculate body fat?
You can do it a couple of different ways. Underwater weighing. I use calipers. There's bioelectrical impedance where you hold a thing and it shoots a little electric current through you. That's very dependent on hydration, though, so I don't love it as much. Yes?
I just wanted to answer your question. At Halo, there's a machine called InBody.
InBody is bioelectrical impedance.
I just use it, but it's a great machine that gives you
Yep.
the body fat percentage.
That's bioelectrical impedance. And that's a good, InBody is actually a good one. There are ones that like Tanita, a lot of people have those in your house and you stand on it, or it's just by hand. You can really fudge the data. If you go in completely dehydrated and then take it and then crush water, you're going to look leaner because electricity moves through water better than it does through us. So if you go in dehydrated, you're going to look like you're fatter. So you can, if you have a contest with any of your friends and it's bioelectrical impedance, go in super dehydrated and then crush the water and you can show a big change right away. I want 15% of the win. So this is crazy because people will come in and I tell them, you can actually gain weight working with me and shrink. So if you're wearing a size 36 waist, but you want to be a 34, okay. A pound of fat, let's say, is like a pound of feathers. It takes up a lot of space. A pound of muscle is like a pound of iron. It takes up a little bit of space. So if you gain 2 pounds of lean body mass, muscle, and you drop 2 pounds of fat, that's a 4-pound weight shift. The scale says you haven't have no change. But since there's no change on the scale, you think, well, there's no success. That's a 4-pound weight shift. You look and feel very different, and your clothes will start to fit differently. So, excellent. So, some points to remember. Try new foods. Most people eat the same 15 probably beige foods every day. If you don't try it, you don't know if you're going to like it. There are a lot of micronutrients and vitamins and minerals in different foods that you need. I always tell people, most people eat bananas, apples. I said, it's great. Stop being a fruit racist. Stop only eating white fruits. I want you to have kiwis and honeydews and cantaloupe. You should be changing the color every day. That's ideal. One of the things I get all the time is, I don't really like that. And I get that, so we could try a different food, but why is it everybody's birthday and not everybody's 4 years old? Like, you have to really love that? Oh, this is the best beets I've ever had. Just eat them. They're good for you. You're trying to build a very big jigsaw puzzle. And if you use the same 15 pieces, it's not going to get built. So there are pieces all over the place that you've never used. Pick them up. Try. Like I make fun. Sardines, omega-3s, small fish, no PCBs, no toxins. It's all good. Wild caught. Canned, you can keep it forever. When the zombie apocalypse happens, you can have sardines. I said when, not if. Anyway, so what to eat is critical for the person based on where you grew up, what your ethnicity is. So that's why I say the what is up to you more than me. I tell you the how much and the when. When to eat. If you wait till you're hungry, this is the worst thing that can happen to you during the day. During the day, you go, oh man, I'm starving. What should I eat? Dead. Dead. That's when you want pizza. You're going to go get burgers and fries. Like, that's when you're going to, like, your willpower will break. If you eat constantly through the day, your willpower is, you're going to be a champ because you're not hungry. If you left the house every day, you have eaten breakfast. How many people eat breakfast every day? All right. That means there's a whole lot of people who do not eat breakfast, unless you're intermittent fasting, which you shouldn't be. But anyway, you eat your breakfast. You leave your house with lunch, dunch, gold. Gold! Because then you can't blow it. It's there. You have it. And if you want to, like, oh, I don't know what to have, whatever you made for lunch, make 2. Lunch 1 and lunch 2. Done. That will intercept your dinner. You'll eat less at dinner, and you're going to feel like a champ. So That's when the speed of eating. Oh my God. People eat like someone's about to take it. It's like jail eat. Like, what are you doing? Because you're so hungry half the time, and it becomes a habit. It's not even what you do, it's who you are. How many people know somebody, so you don't have to even admit it that it's you, know somebody that when the food is being served, it's already gone? Exactly. You can eat so much more food because it takes your stomach 15 to 20 minutes to stretch, send a signal to your brain that says you're full, stop eating. 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes, that person could have eaten 6 plates of food and was already laying on the couch. How many times have you eaten food and then all of a sudden you go, oh, I think I ate too much. You ate to pain. Your stomach hurts. That's because you ate too fast. I'm going to give you a quick little story that is real. Every time I went to Chipotle and got a burrito, I'd feel like I wanted to die. So I'd said, I can't go to Chipotle anymore. I went to Chipotle with my wife one time, and we shared a burrito. She goes, let's just share it. I said, okay. Ate my half of the burrito, was literally angry how hungry I still was. I said, I want to go get another whole burrito, and I'm going to crush it right now. Like, I can't believe. So I didn't, and we left. 15 minutes later, I said, you know what? I feel great. A half a burrito, that's 500 calories. That's a whole meal. I was good. Because a burrito is about 1,000 calories. Can anybody guess one slice of the ultimate red velvet cheesecake one slice at the Cheesecake Factory? I don't want to call them out, but I kind of just did. One slice of ultimate red velvet cheesecake. Can somebody just guess how many calories?
2,000.
Yeah, you guys are it's gonna be crazy. It's over 2,000. It's over 2,000. It is over 2,000. It's like 2,700 or something ridiculous. So that's why when somebody goes, oh, I only had half a slice, I shared it, I only threw my fork in. That's almost half your day. Or that could be your whole day. One slice of cheesecake, that'd be a day. It's a lot of calories. How do you get 2,000 calories in one slice? Yes? No, this is my last slide. I hate slides. Oh my. That's like throwing up. I could never. It's literally based on age, gender, height, weight, activity level. I can't even make an estimate. I'm sorry. Yes? Oil. Yeah, because then you don't have to use very much mayo. And everyone's like, mayo? If you got Sir Kensington's avocado oil mayo, it's like 7 ingredients. It's made with avocado oil. It's great. It's not soybean oil and canola oil and all those horrible, yes?
To follow on the calorie question, if you do the in-body, it'll give you like your...
Yeah, it's okay. It gives you something.
Is that what you're supposed to eat, or you have to eat portions?
I wouldn't.
What do you eat if you stay in bed all day?
I wouldn't bank too much on that. That's like when you're on the treadmill and it tells you how many calories you burned. Well, you know, if you're on the treadmill like this and it's going through, it'll still tell you you burned that many calories. It doesn't know. It doesn't know. I just burned 712 calories. You were like this the whole time. But the point is, it doesn't. Some of them are better. Some of them put in your height, your weight. So some are better. But yeah. It's not, I don't. I always ask people in terms of your cardio, your exercise. It's about duration and it's about exertion level. That's what's critical. So I don't care how. I ran 3 miles. Like I know people who can run 3 miles really fast. Other people, it'll take you all day. So I don't care. I don't care the distance. It's how hard and for how long. That's what's more important. Yes.
What about the formula 3,500 calories equals 1 pound?
An extra 3,500 calories equals 1 pound of body weight. It's not all just fat though. There is accompanying lean body mass with that. So the point is, to gain a pound of weight, it's known. That's what the standard is. You ate an extra 3,500 calories to do that. That's why if you gain you can gain and lose 4 pounds a day, just water balance. If you had pizza or Chinese food last night, sushi with too much soy sauce, you could weigh 2-3 pounds more today. So you can't. That's why the scale it messes you up because you don't know what that weight is, and you can get all upset and depressed and Oh, forget it. I'll start tomorrow. No, you can't start tomorrow. You start right now. Every meal, the egg theory is this. This is the egg theory. When you go food shopping and you buy a dozen eggs, if one egg breaks, do you throw away the dozen? No, of course not. Nobody would. But yet we all screw up one meal, Sunday brunch, and you go, I'll start Monday. And you just destroy the Sunday. So every meal after it's just done. You can't think like that. If you had too big of a brunch on Sunday, okay, then have your meals that you're supposed to have for the rest of the day, because you don't want to take in an extra 3,500 calories. Yes?
Sort of off topic, how much exercise would you recommend an elementary school kid who's not training for a marathon or, a pro athlete? How much exercise should they get every day?
I mean, an hour a day. That's a standard. I mean, an hour a day is just an hour a day to play. I mean, when I worked for the NFL, they have the play 60, and that's what they would always tout. It's just 60 minutes a day. I mean, years ago, that's what we did. We went out and we played. Now they're home with Xbox and PlayStation and other. I'd put those things in the bathtub and break it up with a fire axe or something. No good can come from it. No good, because they are addictive. They know what makes your mind work, and it keeps you in there. And then they stay up too late, and they want to stay sharp, so they're drinking energy drinks, and it's just a whole cascade of a train wreck that happens. Balance your meals, proteins, fats, and carbs. You can't blame. Stop blaming. Carbs are now the thing that everyone hates. Carbs make you fat. In the 80s, fat made you fat. You eat too much of anything, it's going to make you fat. It's not about that. So stop blaming something and just take responsibility and say, I need to eat protein, fat, and carb every day, every meal. Every day, every meal. Think of your stomach like a furnace, and my job is to build the perfect fire. Carbohydrates burn like paper, quickly. Protein are the sticks, a little slower. Fat are the logs, even slower. To build the perfect fire, you need paper, sticks, and logs. I need carbohydrate, protein, fat. And there's no bad food, by the way. I want to stress that. There's degrees of better, but white bread is bad for you. All right, don't eat for 2 weeks. I give you a loaf of white bread. Is it good for you or bad for you? It's really good for you. It's going to prevent you from dying. Yes?
What's your take on this viral thing, Game Changers, where
Oh, God.
plant-based thing?
Yeah, the mockumentary. They have an agenda, and they skewed a lot of things towards that agenda. But if it gets you to eat more fruits and vegetables, then I am a fan, because I think fruits and vegetables are under-eaten, and I think that people, I don't really like vegetables. So what? You don't have to like everything. Just eat it. just eat them. But I do believe that if you're not a vegan and if it's not for religious reasons, I would never say be a vegan. I would never do that. But if that's what you're, if you issues with animals, religious belief, I can work with that. But I believe that the higher quality, all protein is not created equal. It's not. So 20 grams of whey protein with the biological value of 104, or egg at a biological value of 100, the vegetable proteins can't hold a candle to it. They can't. It's just not there. So you'd have to eat a whole lot more of it. So I think that's part of the problem with my industry, that these things are out there, and then people just don't even know what to believe anymore, because there's just so much misinformation. Not that it's bad. Like I said, if it gets you to eat more fruits and vegetables, then that was a win. I'm a fan of that. But not every, you're not going to be like, oh, man, I love broccoli. See, should I get ice cream or should I continue eating my broccoli? Like, I know you're not going to, it's not like that. But the point is, you have to know that these things are important for you, and you just have to do it. And if you roast broccoli with a little bit of salt and pepper and garlic, it's delicious. If you didn't like it boiled, then don't boil it. Roast it. If you didn't like it roast, there's other ways to make different. Like people say, oh, I don't like fish, codfish. I don't like cod. Why? Because it tastes bad? It doesn't taste. It does no taste. Exactly. So don't tell them you didn't like the way somebody seasoned it. Okay, I respect that. I don't like egg whites. Really? Because it tastes so. It's not like blue cheese. Blue cheese, you either like it or you don't. I get it. Right? That's a taste. That's a flavor. Cilantro, very truffles. Right? There are certain things that are like, wow, but But if you tell me you don't like cod, really? I had somebody tell me they don't like the texture of, what was it? It was like soft, and they didn't like the texture. And I said, would you eat ice cream? And they said, yeah. Could you eat pudding? And they said, yeah. I said, don't tell me it's about texture. You just don't want to eat it. Okay. You don't have to eat, like when I work with an athlete or anybody, if you don't like a certain food, I will never make you eat a certain food. I will make you try everything, though. So then there's the list. You have to bring me the list. Date and what you tried. And then there's 3 columns. People are like, 3 columns. There's liked, disliked. Everyone's like, that's all there is. No, there's nothing. You can nothing a food. Like I consider like codfish, egg whites. I nothing it. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. Okay. We have to decide now. If you nothing cucumbers, all right, then you don't have to eat cucumbers anymore. If you nothing beets, you're eating beets. Beets are too powerful. I can't have you not eat beets. So that makes the list, I think, is important. Yes?
To the plant-based game changers, but a broader question of human beings that are trying to be sustainable and reduce carbon footprint and eating a lot of beef and things like that are trying to like adjust their diet.
So then you don't have to eat a lot of beef. I wouldn't recommend it anyway.
Okay, so what's the option then to them? Sardines, we're back to sardines. Beans? Chicken?
Beans are a carbohydrate.
Yeah, okay.
They happen to have a little bit of protein. Like peanut butter is a fat. It happens to have a little bit of protein, though. So sometimes we can use these things, but typically, I mean, chicken, turkey, pork tenderloin, eggs. Yes?
Did you deal with a lot of young athletes, and it's true of anybody, where does alcohol fit into this discussion?
Well, for young athletes, it doesn't, because that would be bad. And then for adults, for everyone, most everyone here, let me give you the quick on alcohol. And I didn't put the slide in. It's funny. I had it, and I pulled it out. First of all, it can lower testosterone levels. It is a depressant, and if you put too much depressant into a system, the system will become depressed. It goes directly to body fat storage, so you really can't burn it. Unless you are a binge drinker, then you can burn it, but then I don't recommend you doing that. So it's going to go right to fat. So it does slow your metabolism. It's on the opposite end of everything that you're trying to do typically to feel better, to feel stronger, to be a better athlete. It's really on the other end of that spectrum. Yes?
So I'm back to the athlete who wants to gain weight, who can't seem to find enough food because the weight's full.
They're using hunger as the barometer for when they eat and when they stop. And I don't care about their hunger at all.
So I'm thinking like protein powders,
That's fine. C4 is that's a pre-workout, yeah? No, because that's an appetite suppressant, and I can't have an appetite suppressant. I don't recommend a pre-workout for anybody. I don't want all that caffeine in you. So that's an appetite suppressant, and that doesn't work well. But that athlete, it's what they'll eat. I don't know, but don't let hunger be the reason they start, and don't let being full be the reason they stop. Because they eat, that's what's gotten them where they are. They eat when they're hungry and they stop when they're full. I'm the energy in coach. I'll tell you to eat X, Y, and Z. Finish it. But I'm full. So what? Everybody else on the planet wants to do that. So, and I just, bubbles, I was talking about that earlier. I just wanted to come back to it. Everyone thinks that it's healthy and there's no calories, but it's very acidic. So it's not great for your joints. Being so acidic, the body's got to maintain equilibrium. And it has to leach. It can leach calcium from the bones, so you can have a higher fracture rate, and it can lead to osteoporosis, osteopenia. So I would say limit your seltzer or club soda. There's no. Yes, sir.
What about apple cider vinegar?
It's great on your salad, but it's definitely not going to make you super lean. Yeah. Oh, because of the vasodilator and the nitrates. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to beet juice, so it does help. But I didn't want to get into nitrates now because then I have to get into nitrates amines, and so yeah. But the nitrates are a vasodilator, so it is good, and it helps. It can actually help lower blood pressure.
Something like tofu for protein?
I'm not a fan of soy, so I would never recommend it. Is it bad? No, it's not bad at all, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yes.
Right. So if you don't recommend like soy and palm oil and stuff like that, so why there are these things in the back?
Those are good for during workouts. Like that's not really a protein supplement.
But even though they
That's
have these things,
soy lecithin.
there's soy flour,
Yeah, but it's
palm fruit oil.
yeah, but it's not a soy protein. It's not so the quantity of protein is not going to be there.
Can you elaborate on that? I mean, is it because of the estrogen?
Yeah, it can be a proestrogen.
And so you're saying it's lowering testosterone?
Well, by percentage, it would. It can be detrimental, right? But that's not soy protein. There's some soy, not very much, no, because flour is the carbohydrate part of it. Yes.
What about foods or juices to help you recover faster, like waters, marathon, or drinks, tart cherry juice?
Sure, I'm a big fan of tart cherry juice. Powerful anti-inflammatory, and it also has natural melatonin, so it's going to help you sleep. I'm getting hooked off right now. I'm being told yes.
Think about nuts, eating mixed nuts.
Nuts are good. It's a fat, so I would not use that as like the whole meal, if you will. But I would use it like if you put that in your salad. So in a salad, if you wanted it, instead of pick nuts, avocado, oil, like you have to pick your fat. But yeah, nuts are great. I'm a fan. I like walnuts. They're omega-3, more anti-inflammatory. But I'll be around if anybody wants to stay for any more questions. But thank you, guys.